Alright, so I'm going to show all my lineups that I have for World 1 Skip. I'm going to say a couple things real quick just to preface this run. One, this is going to be a little bit of a longer explanation because I feel it is extremely needed for a lot of in-depth explanations for a lot of these parts because there's a lot of different parts to this World 1 Skip. Secondly, this is going to be a very analog stick heavy skip, and what I mean by that is most of these skips or every other skip in this game is very D-pad heavy, making it very easy and consistent in lineups, whereas this is analog stick heavy. So I'm going to try and give you as many possible visual cues just to help you along and to make this consistent. I'm getting this roughly 80 to 90% success rate in runs with these lineups and this setup, and I'm pulling off, it can be done fast and well. I'm pulling off 718, 71X, World 1 exits with this setup. So with that said, let's get right into it. So firstly, just to set up Yoshi, we're going to get Yoshi on and off the track, and that's all we're going to do. On and off, he's right in place. So we're going to do an insta jump. What I call it, my other explanation is basically where you pause right after you jump. So jump, pause, instantly, insta jump. So boom, just like that. You're going to go into characters, and you're going to select both characters and get ready. You want to be holding left. If you want to see how high set it up, I'm just holding. So I got my finger on A ready to press OK, and I'm going to have my pinky ready to go left right after I press OK. So holding left and back, and Yoshi or Luigi is in place. So here's the first bit. So we're going to go down. And I'm going to be going a little bit down right. So I'm going to shove myself down right. Just like that. Just kind of mimicking the edge of the island. But the point is I'm going to get... Right here is our first visual cue. So I'm going to get Luigi's hat at the edge of that pipe rock. There. So I'm going to use Yoshi as our cursor. Because I don't have a cursor for this. So basically, we're going to hold down right with the analog stick. But a couple visual cues to help you with the angle, because if you hold too far down right, you'll fall off the edge. If you hold too far up down right, you'll clip in bounds. So it's a bit of a fine line, but thankfully there is a consistent angle for this. So I tried to aim. So see this green bush right here, the top half of Luigi's body. If you were to split Luigi's body at a diagonal line, or I could split Luigi's body at a diagonal line, that bit right there, the top right bit, I guess my face cam is giving it backwards, but yeah, so the top right bit of Luigi is on those bushes. As long as you are consistently holding down right, you're not letting go, you're not going neutral. Anytime you spend just a little bit of time in bounds, you won't get clipped in bounds. So it is possible to, you see, because Yoshi's in bounds, right? Oh, I used the wrong controller. Yoshi's in bounds right here, but Luigi spends a little bit of time in bounds, but that's fine. And basically we want to end up, just inside right here. Give the visual demonstration here. So we're going to set back up, insta jump, down, get Luigi right there, and then so I'm just going to go ahead and do it. But basically, I'm going to show you kind of the angle here. So it's kind of like that. I'm going to use my hands for a lot of angles for this, but it's about like that, essentially. Something like that. I'm just trying to give you as many visual cues as you can possibly get. I'm not running, I'm just walking. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Boom. You saw Luigi's head, popped out a little bit right here. He spent a little bit of time in bounds, but that's fine. We ended up here. We never held neutral, and there we are. So for this next bit, it's really important to know for a lot of this out of bounds movement that holding slightly up whenever you're going to the right is extremely important, because going to the right where we're at right now will actually send us down right. So we have to hold up almost like this angle right there. And just, oh, wrong. Just poking upright as we go. And so now, one thing I want to preface real quick is we're getting into the jumping portion. So there's going to be, I think, 4 jumps total. And for every one of our jumps, we're run jumping, where we're not going to run and then jump. We are going to press the run input and then jump. So we get a long distance jump. A high speed, basically running speed, long distance jump. So I'm going to use Yoshi as a cursor here. But for our first few jumps, that pentagon rock right there, we're going to try and all of them are Luigi's head is the lineup, is the visual cue for this. So we're going to get Luigi's head on this pentagon rock. The next jump is going to be this pentagon rock. The next jump is going to be that dot there. And so I'm going to go there, and then we will go forward from there. So I'm going to set Yoshi back up to where he would be, and then our first jump. So right there, okay, so I was off screen. So I'm going to get real quick, just get back to where I was. See how easy it is to mess up this trick. But we'll get back here. And so right there, no, I'm not off screen yet. I'm a little off screen, but I wasn't fully off screen. So right there, I poked up a little bit at the end of my jump. Basically what I'm doing is I'm making sure that I don't fall out of bounds like I did last time. I'm making sure I don't fall out of bounds or go off screen by just poking up just a little bit at the end of my jumps. Any jump that you're doing, which is the first 3 jumps, that isn't going up already, you're going to poke up at the end of it just to make sure that Luigi is going to make his jump. So after the first jump, you're going to line up Yoshi. It's very, very open, basically just past this corner. And then we're going to do our next 2 jumps. So we're going to jump from this pentagon to the next pentagon. See, I poked up just a little bit there. Now from this pentagon to that dot rock. And now the next 2 lineups are going to be this rock that Yoshi's nose is pointing towards. So not the dot rock that Yoshi's on, but the one to the right of that. And then we're going to jump inside of this pipe rock right here. I'm going to put Yoshi back where he goes. And we're going to cut this. Jump up there. And I'm going to move up. You don't want to move too far up. This spot right here is why we do our run jumps. This spot right here is, if you walk pretty much at all or walk too far forward, you'll get into unjumpable territory, which will in turn fail you the skip because you have to be able to jump. And you'll slide off and you'll slide out of bounds. So basically right here, yeah, we're gonna, yeah, sorry, I kind of blinked out, but basically, yeah, you just want to run jump, like we have been this whole time. I was gonna explain run jumping again there for a second, but obviously I'd already explained it. So we're gonna do a run jump and we're gonna aim for inside of that. So there's 3 pipe rocks there stacked on each other. Stacked on top of each other, we're aiming for that second one. Just like that, we're inside of it. And so I'm going to go up just a little bit, and we're going to put Luigi's head, or hat, or whatever, on the top right edge of that second pipe rock. So here's where we're going to switch to 1P, and you're done with the first half of this trick. So this next part is, at first it's the scary part, but it's not really that scary. So basically, the reason why it's scary is because we have to run the whole time, because we are going to spend a little bit of time inbounds, but as long as we are running, we won't get pushed inbounds, because we're going to still have a little bit of Luigi out of bounds for the time that we're spending inbounds. So as long as we're running, we're not going to actually get sucked in to inbounds. But basically the angle I'm going to hold here is, let's see here, I gotta put my hands properly. So I'm going to be holding about that angle, right? But the visual cue is going to be, you can imagine where the edge of the island is. I'm going to keep Luigi's feet always touching the edge of the island. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Just holding upright. And once you get on the green here, you can let go. You're good. You made it past. But basically, I just held upright. You know, I kind of feet went off the edge of the island a little bit. We did spend a tiny bit of time inbounds. All that said, as long as you're running and you're just holding upright at roughly, you know, that angle, ish, should be good. So the next part, all of this stuff, you can feel freely to use D-pad. Here, you know, normally you would want to run straight across, but you can't. There's a cutscene here. So if we hit that cutscene, we fail. You have to do World 1 skip all over again. So we have to avoid this cutscene trigger. So all that I do, it's really simple. I just keep the edge of Luigi's feet a little bit off the edge of the island, maybe even touching the edge of the island. So I'm just going to kind of demonstrate it here. Basically just keeping Luigi's feet at the edge of the island, even a little bit off, you know, just keeping them rounding this island just at the edge of the island. And here, you'll realize that is a lot more open. It's a lot more forgiving of an area to actually end up triggering the cutscene, thankfully. But that lineup there is like 100% safe. So here, you can imagine that the edge of the stairs, so the stairs go down 1, 2, the very bottom stair. The edge of the stair is a straight line. You can imagine it's a straight line. And we're just going to put Luigi's feet just a little bit inside of it. You know, where I'm at right now, just a little bit inside of that. So that way, we're going to D-pad up, and we're going to make the game line us up. So it's 100% consistent lineup every time. I do that whenever I can. So we're going to D-pad up, and we're going to go to where the bottom of Luigi's feet is, and it's not like super precise, but for the sake of this lineup, I'm going to make sure I'm there. But where the bottom of Luigi's feet, so you can imagine, so take this straight line here, that's one of the gray dots, that's the other gray dot that Luigi is in between. There's the gray dot there, there's the gray dot there. And you can draw a straight flat line in between them. Where the back of Luigi's feet need to be touching that straight line, that imaginary straight line there. So it's going to be dot, Luigi's feet, dot, all perfectly aligned on that straight line. So you're going to back off just a little bit. You don't want to back off too much. You'll trigger the cutscene. So it's just one, not too hard of a press, just a, you know, like just one quick full press down. And here, super, super simple. We're just going to run and D-pad right. That's simple. Boom. You're up the stairs, and you can D-pad right all the way here. And that's World 1 skip. Yeah, I know that was a little long of an explanation, but I feel that was warranted. But yeah, so feel free to timestamp anything in the comments if you need like little portions timestamped for yourself to practice or go to that you're having trouble with. Feel free to do any of that. But yeah, so that's World 1 skip all lineups.